That's good. I'm glad that we're not recording yet because we just lost our subscription. Hey internet. Hey everyone. Welcome. Great to have you along for another session. We are in Anarok, the largest desert in the world, and one of the most inhospitable locations as well. And we're on the surface, which is the easy part. We have since been here. We were lured into the Underdark by a bunch of loose coins that couldn't possibly have been a trap. We were warned by 35 different women, and we ignored all of their warnings. We've been trailed by a bunch of strange desert-style lizardmen called Asabi, who literally picked through our waste of all sorts and consumed it. The resources are, of course, slim in this apocalyptic wasteland. We were bitten by a giant sand crocodile, an enormous thing. And a little bit of research on the wiki pages shows us that was just a little one. They get phenomenally big. And we ended, as I recall, at an oasis. An oasis that has been deliberately poisoned, apparently by elves, to target reptilian races, surrounded by a whole bunch of bright red flowers, reminiscent of poppies, but not poppies, and a whole bunch of kobold and crocodile skeletons. We have extracted some venom, some poison rather, from these flowers, and we bottle it and plan to use it. At some stage in the future, for the record, that assassin's blood poison causes reptiles to have vulnerability to it and thus disadvantage on their saving throws. Alright, so here we are. The water has a silvery tint, a metallic taste, but it's perfectly fine to drink as long as you're not a reptile. We haven't tested that theory on the bird yet. That's another story. Night falls on the Anarok wasteland, and when it does, the temperatures plummet almost to freezing. Let's decide who's setting watches, and since we've got such an enormous party, 35 companions, we might have to think about the logistics of how we arrange ourselves. Are all the women in one club, in one tent? Are they scattered around the edge? So have a think about that. And for no particular reason, I might see if I can set up a map.
Maybe put the women closest to the water. Try to have us on the outside.
Yeah, it could help. That could work, yeah. It cuts down the amount of angles we have to watch from.
Yeah. But you can have someone stationed at the water as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't say just don't look that way at all, but we'd have to look that way less often, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so I'm getting this oasis down, and we might arrange ourselves in accordance to that. So I have to decide how big it is. Let's see. Bigger than that. Okay.
It's warm now with the cold Bailey.
It's quite cold, and it's likely to drop to freezing. What about watches? Who's going to take which watch?
My defender is going to be constantly roaming because he doesn't get exhausted or tired. And I want to be doing like a silent watch or sitting watch because I can still perceive sight and sound.
As with Flightless will take any watch he's asked to.
Yeah. Chaka would like first or last watch. He's not too particular about that.
I don't mind which watch I take, but with my stone rune, I'm able to see 120 feet within the night.
Well, perfect. You'll take the midnight.
Yeah.
Alright, so as you can probably see by the map, which I'll bring up a grid for in a moment, it is very long, very wide, and elevated on three sides. The elevation is quite steep. Each of those ridges is about 10 feet, so that highest ridge is about 30 feet off the water's line, maybe even closer to 40. Whereas the western side is a very gradual ascent and is more or less flat. So yeah, where are we going to position the women?
Be like right here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, with the ridges on either side, it helps to obscure the tents a little bit, make it a bit harder to see from a distance, and also protects from the wind.
Absolutely. The second one is an important consideration. Not only is the wind cold, but it brings with it stinging sandstorms that are as sharp as glass.
Good.
All right. Okay, so who was on first watch?
I guess
I
Flightless
can
will take
take-
that one then, because so where there's still some light, so you can see.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. All right, go ahead. Roll a d30, please. Oh,
Uh,
excellent. Doctor Who. Alright, now as we well know, travelling during the evening is a logical thing to do. The temperature is cool but not cold. The starlight is not prohibitive, but it still allows you to proceed without extreme caution. So yeah, it's not illogical for people to be travelling. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess we'll find out soon enough, they're travelling towards us. We can't see who they are, it's too dark, but they are carrying several lights. It appears to be a chain of lanterns. That chain extends some 100 feet long, give or take 30 feet or so. So you spot these lights like little will-o-wisps that appear 1, 2, 3, and then a whole chain of them coming up over some distant sand dune, perhaps a mile, maybe 2 miles away. And while you observe them from about a distance of 2 miles or so, they close in. They get closer. They're coming from the west, which is the direction that we are nominally heading, further along the Black Road, honestly. And it looks like this 100-foot long chain of lanterns is getting closer to our oasis.
I suppose when spotted, Flightless will go and get Lady Eleanor. Just bring her over, so just point at them.
Right, well, as you wake me up, I'm probably not going to be wearing my armor because it doesn't make sense to be wearing your armor while you're sleeping. So I'll ask how close they are and whether I have time to get dressed or not.
Good. How far do they look? How long till they get?
They've travelled. We saw them at roughly 2 miles. They've travelled roughly to 1 mile, and they would be moving at slower than walking paces, a pace of about 20 instead of 30, which is standard for us. Maybe 25. But yeah, so slightly less than what people would normally walk down the road.
The rare desert gnomes.
Yeah, that's the thing.
If they're walking that slowly, then perhaps I might have 10 minutes. It's a bit weird that it takes 10 minutes to put on a coat of chainmail, but sure, that's the rule.
I guess it's because you've got to put on leather beneath it, I know it's still a long time, but yeah, there's chainmail isn't just slipping over a t-shirt. A bit more involved in that.
I'll take the 10 minutes to put it on, seeing as it looks like we're gonna have that much time, and then I'll head out to investigate.
And Flightless will get like the Badine like weaves ready in case they so that they're like at hand in case it's one of them.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I guess I would hear and probably see them moving around, so I'd probably get
No
up.
doubt. Yeah. And then this eerie chain of lanterns or will-o-wisps in the distance closing in. They're not coloured, by the way. They're whitish yellow. The way the colour of a standard lantern, of an oil lamp.
Do you like the rest of us up?
They are headed this way, right?
It appears to be, and but that's a little bit of an assumption, given that this is a logical place to head, right? Like, yeah. Assuming that they know that there's an oasis here, then this is the sort of place that you would head if you wanted a drink.
Right. Well, let's see if I can do a little scouting. I'll ask my warhorse to sort of make his way over there at a sort of a cantering pace, like 30 or 40 feet per round, and just have him sort of head over in that direction and see if he can get an idea of whether they're humanoids, whether they're monsters, whether they're dressed like the women that we have, or anything like that.
Very good. That will be. Yep.
I was going to say, should I send my defender along with them?
It'd probably be a little less suspicious if I just send the horse, because it looks like just a wandering horse without a rider, as opposed to a mechanical spider-looking thing.
Yeah.
I also think the horse would probably be a bit faster.
Do we want to wake everyone up?
I will. Yeah, I think it's a good idea to at least give everybody a little shake and a tap on the shoulder and say, "Hey, we might have some trouble."
All right. I am having to do the import a lot earlier than I expected. Make a perception check at disadvantage due to the gloom of the starlight.
Okay, on behalf of the horse, I'm guessing.
Oh, is the horse going by itself? Right. When you said you were sending the horse, I just assumed there was a rider. But what a false assumption.
I can communicate telepathically with it as long as it's within a mile of me.
It's a celestial horse.
That's
the
it.
intelligence of 6.
Strong, independent horse don't need no rider.
Doesn't have the perception skill, so just a wisdom check then.
Right. Yeah.
So an 11.
Ooh. No, a 3 because it's disadvantage.
No, it's really bad then. Yeah. Tell very little.
The horse panics because it's just come out of the border forest, and these are clearly fairies.
God damn it.
Well, I'll ask it to come back then.
It's already coming back. Don't worry, it's on its way.
Full tilt.
Yes. In fact, it makes a lot of noise as it comes back, galloping. And the more observant of us will notice that affects the chain of lights. They seem to halt or at least bump into each other like lemmings or the arse of a caterpillar.
Like someone saw something and stopped walking, and then someone just bumped into them.
Boom, 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 boom. That's right, like a chain. Yeah. And then it stretches out again. Caterpillar, yeah.
Well, I'll inform everybody that my horse unfortunately couldn't tell much about who they are, although it seems to believe that they're fairies. I'm not sure whether I believe it myself, but that's the assessment of my horse. I guess I'll make sure that everybody's ready and wait for them to get here. And if they're hostile, we'll have to deal with them. If they're not hostile, then I would propose letting them do as they will, like fill their water skins and let their steeds drink if they have any, and then if they choose to camp here, then it's going to be a bit awkward. But we'll have to try and deal with it.
All right. Yeah. Everybody make a perception check, but because it's an audible one, you won't have disadvantage. Nice. There's someone coming. Like, you hear them from, say, 1,000 feet away, more or less. Maybe a little bit further. Quarter mile, half a mile away. Probably from 1,000 feet is when you actually hear them. The footfalls are fast but soft. Doof, 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 like padded feet. Cantering across the dunes. Broof, 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 broof.
I'm sure we've heard a camel run because we've run into one.
We have. It does sound a lot like a camel, like an individual camel. You don't hear the clinking of metal, like chainmail or something, which is pretty fucking impractical in Anarok, but people do use it, like adventurers. No, but seriously, you don't hear the crack of a whip. You don't hear the rattle of barding. You don't hear the whistles or calls. And you also don't see a lantern.
I'll cast Disguise Self on myself to look like a Bedine man.
All right.
Is it coming from the direction of the line, or is it coming from another direction?
Yeah, more or less the direction of the line. Like, yeah, more or less.
Do we still see the lanterns?
You do, and the lanterns appear to have, if not stopped altogether, then at least slowed to a pace of 5 or 10. It's yeah, and it's coming from the west, which is, fortunately or not, our exposed flank.
Well, at least if they're coming from the west, we have a kind of a choke point to funnel them into.
We do, until they're about 500 feet away, and then they sound like they're veering north. The women grow worried.
How steep is the wall of the, I guess, cover we have?
Each of these ridges is 10 feet, so 30 feet. Yeah, or a bit higher.
He's saying it seems like they might pass us by if they change their course.
Or they're trying to get a better look at us from above.
Yes. If they do happen to be a Bedine tribe, then that's exactly what we've been looking for. So having them ambush us or pass us by altogether wouldn't be what we want.
Do we have any way of making some sort of signal?
Say so. Probably got 100 ways.
It's more of a case of a signal that they'd recognize and not see as a threat.
Can Mara ask the Bedine if there is a signal they know of? Or I guess a greeting or something along those lines?
There probably is, like, you could probably sing out a song, you know. There might be certain songs sung in the Bedine language that are, if not defined as greetings, then at least double as them. You know, like as if someone started singing Auld Lang Syne, you'd kind of assume that they are peaceful, if you know what I mean. Nobody evil could sing Auld Lang Syne. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's from John Denver. Yeah. Yeah, but if you whip out some Pantera, then they might get the wrong idea.
Yeah. I guess also as they were approaching, I guess both Artisan and Steel Defender will at least stand by the Bedine women.
Yeah, sure.
Why don't we get the ladies to sing?
Maybe not all at once. They might think it the work of evil spirits.
Maybe someone cast the light a torch or cast the light cantrip Maybe they'll
Must have torches, right? Like, or a campfire. I assume that there's some illumination here.
Yeah.
wave it at them. See if I can get their attention.
Is that a plan?
And now
Sure.
you're
I'm not
disguised.
sure how the spell works, but I guess I'll put daylight on one of the arrows.
Oh yeah. It'll glow. It'll make the arrow glow like a tiny sun.
Because like,
Can I attempt
it
to
cast the spell
climb
when
the
you
wall?
shoot the arrow. Can I just like draw it, cast the spell, and just like then hold the arrow?
Yeah.
It's like whoever created like I didn't make it to do that.
Yeah. Does that bow? Is that the stringless bow, the one that doesn't shoot ammunition, or is it? Or no, it's the hunting bow of the sky, isn't
That's
it?
the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that illuminates like the arrowhead, and yeah, therefore you can just hold the arrowhead in the bow rather than firing it. Yeah, it's like creating a torchlight on the
Yeah, it's like
arrow tip.
60 bright, 60 dim, I think.
All right, Grimes, you had an idea?
Yeah. Would have to roll like athletics to climb like to the top so I can get an advantage point.
Yeah, you will. It's not a difficult roll, but the problem is not the difficulty. The problem is the stability. You might climb the sandy bank, and it suddenly turns to sand. And but no, you're light-footed enough that light-handed perhaps that you're able to scale up with ease. And it seems that the rider is coming around in your direction. They're a lot further away than the map would allow me to indicate, but that appears to be the trajectory that they're taking.
I'll whistle to the group and signal that they're coming to the top vantage point. Cuckoo, ka-choo.
Huh. So I guess this means that Flightless can probably be the one to make the performance roll. If you have a skill that you think might be more appropriate, then that's fine. But it's getting a message across through non-verbal communication. Performance is often the best skill.
I mean, I'm not getting better than performance. I mean, I'm going.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're the master of non-verbal communication. So, the camel slows down and comes up to a trot. But whoever the bearer is, they don't light a lantern. And at the point of that they're 200 feet away, you still can't see them, but they've slowed down, and a camel could cover 200 feet in certainly less than a minute. Are there any final prayers or things that we want to say before our imminent doom?
So now it's coming from the top of the ridge.
That's right. So they were coming from the west, but at a point of maybe like 500 feet away or something, they stopped going towards us and started veering around. Whether they can see the terrain or whether they're just intimately familiar with it, it's good tactics either way.
I suppose just one final check to make sure that like all the weaves are in order, so it looks, I guess, fairly natural. That he just sort of takes the right one out, so it doesn't look like he just has like 50 of them.
Yeah.
Morrow will ask for a boost up the hill.
Yeah, I'll assist you, try and help you up there.
You can use acrobatics or athletics. It's a light step is needed.
I hold out my hand at the top like a kind gentleman.
Brilliant. But it's your false hand, and like it gets ripped out, and you fall. Anyway, never mind. So you climb to the top, and you're beside Grimes now, and at a distance of maybe about 60 feet or so, a lantern is lit. It's an enormous man on an equally enormous camel that seems to be barely able to bear his weight, in spite of the fact that it's about as big as camels get. This guy's huge. Not as big as an ogre, certainly not, but bigger than any human ever gets. Tall, muscular, bulky, grey-skinned. He has a gut that is as big as his arms, and he has those arms that are at once flabby and muscular, just all round huge. Just a huge guy. and he seems to be covered in an elaborate series of strange tattoos that don't really have any geometric pattern to them. They're just like squiggles and drops of huge drops of water. And as he gets closer, you can see that his skin is grey, and that his markings are a purplish colour. And this enormous man has a long, not a chain, but I think a kuri guillaume, like a rope with basically a grappling hook, more or less, small grappling hook. And he keeps the grappling hook in one hand, and he's holding the lantern in the same hand, and he holds the reins of the camel in the other, and starts to slow down as he approaches. He calls out to you in the Bedine tongue.
I answer in the Bedine tongue, passing myself off as a man.
Greetings, he says. You have claimed our oasis, but it is ours.
We are merely resting here for the night.
We also wish to rest for the night, and there is not enough room for both. You must move on now.
I disagree. There is plenty of room for both.
How many of there are you?
You tell us how many of you there are first.
We are a large caravan, well armed, well equipped. I am an experienced warrior, having bested 1,000 combatants in my time. You do not want trouble.
And we are asking for no trouble. We are merely staying the night.
No, you are moving on. We are staying the night.
May I ask you a question, sir?
Yes, his Bedine, by the way, is not perfect. He is heavily accented, and it's clearly not his native tongue. Keep going, sir.
So is he not a Bedine?
He is not. He's a huge dude with grey skin and purplish tattoos, like bigger than any human gets, like 8 feet tall, 9 feet tall, and he would easily weigh 500 pounds. Easily, probably more.
Can you tell me your name and who you represent?
I am Gustav, and I am sent here by my master.
And who might that be?
My master is Shelazar of the Uriah clan. And there gives a squeal from some of the women who can hear these bristling voices, bellowing voices. And you hear some of the women squeal in I guess, glee. For they are Uriah people as well. Only a few of them, but we have some Uriahs among our tribesfolk,
I guess. And then you see like he's just like pulled out like the Uriah like weave, and he's just waving it at Mari.
I see. Well, we may have a gift for exchange for us staying.
Then we may be able to make a deal. Present your terms, and I shall tell my master.
We have rescued several women, some from the Uriah clan, from the Zentarim. We would give them back to you, in exchange for letting the rest of us stay for the night, and possibly information as to the rest of the clan, so we can return the women to them as well.
You must not speak falsely, for if this is some kind of trick, I will tell you now that my master is a mage slayer, and he shall kill you and your illusionist.
Come over here, sir, and observe the women down by the oasis, and you tell me that's an illusion or not.
You wish me to get closer to the edge of the ridge where the sand is loose and my weight will cause it to crumble?
I'm not saying you have to or not, sir, but I'm just saying if you want to see for yourself, come on by.
He looks back at his own caravan, some half-mile distant, and still slowly moving towards the oasis, and knows that, trap or not, he must see for himself. Down off his camel and leaves it behind. It starts to find some of the remnant vegetation that is up here, which isn't much because most of it's around the water's edge, but it finds a little. And he comes over to look. Yeah.
If it makes you feel better, I can hold on to you when you get to the edge to make you feel safe.
It would not make me feel better. If you try to grab me, I will throw you over the cliff. And some of the women dare to yell out against protocol, but hey, when you're being rescued, you can kind of break the taboos of your culture and actually speak for a change.
I will rebuke them in the beating tongue for out of turn. I gotta play the part.
Help! We're being rescued! Shush! Shut your mouth! Alright, sorry. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. He doesn't seem to either approve nor disapprove of your action, just accepts it as standard. And he looks out there and calls out some of their names. Shazir, Kadim, Halawa. Is that you? Gustav! How splendid it is to see you! And some of the other women shush the women that are daring to talk. It cannot be. My master had thought that his daughters and wives were lost forever. You have brought them back. This is a very happy night. A very happy night indeed.
Then go, tell your master what we have to trade to him.
Yes, I shall. Though I warn you again, if this is an illusion, then you will all be put to the sword, so you must prepare yourself for bloodshed.
This is no illusion, so no bloodshed is needed.
You answer well, he says. Mounts his caravan, which protests. It's like, oh man, we just got here.
Like, I actually found something that was actually tasted good. Kind of the one thing that was
right.
Cliff face had a little shade,
I'm an 800-pound camel, and you're 550 pounds. This is not right.
Telling Peter.
Exactly.
My friend was an illusion.
He's gone, so I guess you're telling the party?
Yeah, I guess I'm just speaking out as I look to the cliff side with the 1,000-mile stare.
Sounds like country folks who just has his own monologue every 5 seconds. Hey, what?
I tell you what, there's nothing these mountains that this grass down here can tell you.
Well, Mar, I didn't understand a word of that, but it sounded good. Tell me we have some sort of deal.
He is off to tell the person who is to make the deal. But evidently this is that clan's oasis.
I see.
So they can take them off our hands, and then, we won't have to worry about a bunch of women getting stolen.
Well, only some of them.
Well, why not let them all take them all? They're all part of Badine.
Well, it's not that simple from what I understand. Women from other tribes would be little more than slaves. They would
be mistreated, and that is not acceptable. She'll be talking in her normal voice, still disguised as a bit.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with. There's so many different cultures to learn.
As I understand it, the different tribes are somewhat hostile to each other. So they're inclined to treat their enemies poorly.
But
the
if
chain of
their
lights.
enemy,
Yeah, they're just going to say the chain of light's very close. So you were saying?
I'm saying if they're enemies, they probably keep tabs on each other. So at the very least, they could give us information as to where to find the others.
Hopefully so.
I suppose Flight's trying to get across that maybe you should try to persuade them to take as many as like they can, because maybe they're a bit like allied to other clans, so we can like try to persuade them to take like their women as well. So just take as many as possible.
We can.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go first.
I was saying if we can get Mara to speak to the Bedine women, we can see if they know if any of their clans are allied, or the clan's women who are part of their clan, at least if any of them are allied clans.
They wouldn't know that. They're not involved in that discussion.
I wouldn't agree to such a proposal unless I was certain that there was an alliance. Could very easily just lie to us.
But what if the women choose to go with them?
I mean, if they choose to go with them, there's little I can do to stop them, I suppose.
What if I marry all the ones that they don't want, and then they can just always join us, and all my wives can carry our stuff and wash our clothes clean? It's a good life.
It sounds like you're taking the Bedine culture really right on board.
You'll get right along.
How many wives are they allowed to have?
Yes.
Indeed.
How much money you got?
Yeah.
Yeah, how many you can financially support is the answer.
That is the actual answer, yes.
Mm.
You have to treat them all equally.
In theory.
Have 50 wives and give all of them nothing. Equal treatment.
That is true.
A single grain of rice.
Now that might be a single copper coin, but disallow them from going to the markets.
All
I want
right.
to do the shopping.
It only takes a few minutes before the caravan slowly arrives, and shortly after they've arrived, they begin setting up tents. When I say they, I mean obviously camp servants. The women are doing their bit as well, bringing out pots and getting fires started, and taking saddlebags off the camels and stuff. And the camels themselves want to come and have a drink at the oasis. But it appears to be men, I guess lesser men, if you want to use such terminology, that are doing most of the work, while a well-dressed, muscular, dark-skinned fellow who stands well in excess of 6 feet tall, with a beautiful silver scimitar at his side, a magnificent thing that's halfway to being a falchion, huge weapon. He walks with the swagger and confidence that designates him as their leader, even if it weren't for the fact that he's the only male that's dressed in colourful garb. The other men have dusty, dirty, sand-stained khaki robes. He has whites and blues and sashes of red and several other colours besides. Purple turban.
Mara will address the women of the Bedine tongue and ask that those who are of... I totally can't remember right now. This guy's clan to come forward.
Oh, yeah.
But stay behind us.
And they will obey, as is their wont.
By the way, I'm back to making myself sound like a man.
Excellent. And he calls out their name. Aria, Rafik, Uzuri, is that you? My wives and children. And they rush forward and embrace the man, and he embraces them, or is embraced by them. His thick but still stout beard, not particularly long, kept quite trim for all of its thickness, throwing back as he embraces them and begins to weep these tears of joy. I thought I would never see you again. All of it, of course, in the native tongue. Father, husband, and the 5 women of the 35 that we've rescued are embraced by this burly, confident man who is probably in his mid-40s, perhaps. And he replies, "You have done a great service for me. My name is Shalazar of the Uriah tribe. How can I ever thank you for uniting my family with me again?"
For one, your manservant said we are not to stay here. We would like to be able to stay here and rest for the evening.
Yeah. Yes, you must stay here. I insist. Tonight we shall cook a goat and feast and tell stories. I will have song, and I will have dancing, and I will have fighting. We will do all of the entertainment tonight. I demand it. I insist that we celebrate together.
And do you know of where we have gifts to return to the other tribes? And I will motion towards the other congregation of women. Do you know how we might be able to find them?
It will not be easy. It depends on how much time you have. I can take them from you, and I will find good husbands for them. And for those who are already married, I will pledge to return them to the tribes, even if we are at war.
Can I do an insight check on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess I'll join us.
Sure.
If he's saying that in a tongue that I can understand, I'll get in on this.
Well, no, he's saying it in Bedine, so I guess you'd be at disadvantage at best, based on just reading his body language more and nothing else.
That's okay. I got an 18, and I do speak Bedine, so.
Yeah, so Mara's pretty good, and Lady Eleanor has a fair bit of confidence as well. Look, he does seem to be genuine, but people do say funny things when they're really, really happy. So he could change his mind tomorrow, and there's no way of knowing that, no way of really indicating it. But for the moment, at least, his elation is greater than his hatred for blood feuds. So you just have to make of it what you will.
Give us a moment, and I will go and speak with the women and ask what they would like. Ask them what they would like. This is what he offers. You know, what would
the
they?
women are afraid. They are afraid. This man. They tell you that this man is a mage slayer. He is a killer by trade. He belongs to the cult of the Order of the Spire, a group of elite warriors, predominantly but not exclusively Bedine, who have made it their business to prevent people from finding Netherine's ruins, namely the Zentarum. And effectively, these people kill wizards on sight, sorcerers on sight. It's men like him that are responsible for enforcing the taboo that is, we kill all magicians in Anarok. Yeah, like the guy is a killer by trade, by culture, in any way that you can imagine. And he also wages war regularly on well, some of their tribes for other things. So, but at the same time, they tend to be men of their word, and almost exclusively men, as you probably guessed. Not exclusively, but almost exclusively. They tend to be men of their word. They wear their hearts on their sleeves. They don't pretend to be anything other than what they are, which is ruthless, cold-hearted killers in the ruthless, most merciless part of the world.
And I suppose, since he said his word, and I'm a Kenku, I've taken it, so now I have his word that he'll return them.
Yeah, and he would bring dishonor not just on himself, not just on his tribe and his family, but on his order, if he were to go back on it now.
Because I suppose it's sort of different. Was someone like, oh, this creature has a perfect recording of you saying something, and then you went back on it?
Yeah, true.
I suppose in any other circumstance you could say, oh, I didn't say that, and I'm more honourable than these barbarians.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, assuming that we trust a bird.
Yeah, they also might see a bird spitting out exactly what he said is magic and kill you on sight.
Lady Eleanor will protect me, I believe.
So yeah, I will take Flightless to the front. Flightless will come with me,
I'll go with it.
and I will explain. This bird, this creature has a unique ability, natural ability, to repeat what I say. And I'll kind of elbow you so you'll repeat that.
Yeah, I'll repeat the words.
Exactly in the same voice. So we would like you, around this creature, to swear an oath that you will do as you say with these women, and we will release them to you. And no doubt get yourself a bit of a reward for returning them to them.
You have a magic bird.
It is not a magic, it is of its type. Do you call it camel magic because it can survive in the desert with little to no water? It's just the natural ability of this creature.
This creature is a monster.
It is called a kenku. It is like a... Have you heard of a parrot?
Yes, I know what a parrot is.
It is like a parrot, only it speaks in the exact voice instead of its own.
A parrot is a natural creature. It does not dress and wear and use weapons. It does not carry things and walk as a man. This creature is a monster.
It is a being like you and I. There are different things that look different. Like lizard men. Are they magic? They may be savage, but they are not magic, no.
What clan are you? What tribe are you from?
Uh-oh.
I like go to like
I will.
him like this weaves, but only like hidden.
I will mention one of the other tribes that the women have mentioned.
Yeah, and I'll hand him the one that corresponds.
Just pick one at random and hope they're not at war with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Your bird monster speaks for you?
No, I would say, and the bird will show him what the crest of it.
Or the flag thing.
The bird assists me. It is my servant.
If you are from this tribe, then tell me some of the men in your tribe. I will know their names.
Oh no.
Well, you see, there's Mohammed and Mohammed, and also Mohammed.
Give me one name and I will be satisfied.
I will. I'm hoping to use a deception check, but I will go with one of the names I've heard.
more specific? Can I remember like one woman from the tribe mentioned a name? Because
Have we ever met Aberdeen?
Yeah.
We haven't. No, we didn't. Haven't met Aberdeen. We didn't meet. We didn't. We haven't gone to the one inn, and we haven't run into any out here. So no.
Yeah, I don't think we did that.
All right. Yeah, I think we've only ever heard women's names. Then I don't know where we would have heard a men's name. We've heard tribal names and women's names, but I don't know that we would have heard any men's names if we haven't met any Aberdeen.
I think I
We have
spoken-
over
there was, like,
heard-
I missed my brother name. Maybe there's something like that.
Yeah, we've talked to the women quite a bit.
Yeah. All right. I guess a history check, since there's no better memory role than history. You might know of a legend of someone or something.
Muhammad.
Oh, Jesus is my word.
Abraham.
Like, does that help at all? Including
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
advantage-
Yeah,
the advantage to pass myself off.
absolutely. Yeah, you can because maybe you can get the accent right, even if you get the name wrong. Something like that. So yeah, that'll help.
So, do I get advantage with that then?
Yeah, if the skill would normally do, then it does.
Okay. No,
Yeah, you
only
have advantage
deception.
on perception. Yeah.
Advantage on deception.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's probably still a history check. But you can have an advantage on the history check. Yeah.
Alright, here we
Bit of
go.
both.
Here's for all the money. Oh, I am totally inspirationing that.
All right.
Boom.
He just look at Muhammad. He goes, yes, I know him well.
Yes.
We graduated from the same sand dune.
So you know Azim then. Azim is a brother of mine. Our tribes are at war, it is true, but we are both members of the same order. He carries a sword like mine, no? And he shows you his brilliant silver scimitar, it's almost as big as a falchion.
It is similar, yes. But I say they must have given you the better one.
When was the last time that you have seen him?
It has been quite a long time as I have been traveling the world.
Then it will bring you sorrow to know that I think he is dead.
Oh. That it does.
Our order has been destroyed. There was an attack on the spire. It is now shattered. The mountain itself was destroyed.
I will definitely look my best to be shocked and aghast.
Now you can make a deception check.
Now I can make a deception.
Yeah, with advantage.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, come on!
Ooh. Unfortunate.
He grows suspicious, but it's not like out and out. There's no out and out evidence. Sometimes people appear the way that they do appear. You do not seem to be surprised.
Well, I have heard of druids coming out here looking and have disappeared as well. I wonder if that is related.
Are you
Yeah,
carrying a torch? Sorry, keep going.
Yes, I am carrying a torch.
He's looking at your shadow as if studying it.
Oh.
See the little flick of a devil tail?
The horns.
I guess you would, right? Like your descent, because yours is it's an illusion, not an alter self, isn't it?
It is an illusion, yeah.
So your shadow will betray you. You are a devil.
I am here returning your family.
Warriors, to arms!
Oh
And,
no.
They stop putting up the tents and they run over with
I
their
will
blades and their
settle a
spears. And
suggestion
Oh no.
Oh no.
and say there's no need for violence to let us. You know, we have returned his family. He should let us on our way.
Oh.
I have already insisted that you must stay here and be with me. It is dark out there, and the night is filled with dangers. You, devil, must tell me why you are doing this favor to me before you disappear into the night.
Just Finus will
We wish.
tap on his shoulder to let you know he wants to say something.
Yep, go ahead.
In Randallborn's voice, he'll just go, "Man's obliged to help a woman."
And I will translate. He says a man is obliged to help a woman.
I speak the common tongue well enough, but you are neither men. You are devils and monsters. You are under no obligation.
We still hold to the same values. Plus, we wish to oppose the Zentarim, and these women were taken to serve the Zentarim. We decided to stop them. Our
You
next
are
target,
enemies of the Zentaran.
that we
Prove
are.
it.
What do we have to prove it? Oh, God.
I guess we have the map we stole.
Yeah, that's right. We have stolen this from them, and I will get the map.
I see. You will need this map. It will not help you in the middle of the night as you depart, but you will need it when the sun rises again. And yet I feel great pains. Yes, you go.
You can also ask the women how we stole them away from the Zentarum lumber camp. Do you not believe your own wives and daughters?
I will believe them, for even the devils can sometimes speak the truth, if it suits their evil mean. You are lucky. You are very fortunate that I have already given you my word, or even after this favor, I would be obliged to give you my steel and silver. But
we
come,
wish no quarrel with you.
and we wish none either. If you must depart into the night, you are fools, but I will not stop you. Yet, I would insist that you stay here with us, and remain here.
Would you treat us with treat us as guests and not as enemies? I do not wish to have my throat slit in the night.
I have already told you that you are my guests. I wish to hear your songs. I wish to see you fight. If you have any women among you that you have for sale, then I would like to sample them. I will give them back when the dawn comes. And then the wife just looks at him and is like, "You're telling me you haven't seen me for 3 months and you're gonna
sleep with someone else tonight? Like, what the hell, man?
Fucking hell, man! Like, why did I marry this guy?
Men, am I what?
Man, am I right? That's right.
Then for you, to put you at ease, I will drop this illusion I use to do business, so you may see my true self. to show that I am not meaning to deceive you, but meaning to not have someone or not be barred by suspicions for what I do.
But you are lying to me, as a devil will lie, for you did mean to deceive me, and it is only that I have uncovered the truth that you tell the truth. You are not an honest dealer at all.
If you had seen me at first, would you have even spoken to me rather than bring out the sword?
Dun dun dun.
Your deception has worked, but you cannot now tell me that you are honest when your first strategy is to lie.
I only used the lie to protect myself and those around me.
A lie made in protection is still a lie. You cannot sin for a good purpose.
Yeah, I cannot deceive others by freeing in ways that free slaves and bring your women back to you.
You can, and you have.
And is that not a good thing?
It is. The action is good, but the deception is evil.
I do certain things that are not so good so that the greater good can be done. I deceive only to do something that is greater.
He thinks
Because
of
sometimes
to kill is one of the greatest of sins, and I am a killer. I understand that your methods were made in the greater good, but that does not mean that they are not a crime.
I have been atoning for the crime of being born a devil all my life. I shall continue to attempt to do so. At which point she will drop the disguise self.
I see you are only half of a devil. Then the crime is not yours, but that of your forebears, and you bear the curse of your father's father. And your children will bear the curse. This is how sin permeates throughout the world. For when you wash off poison into the oasis, your hands may be cleaned, but now you have nothing to drink.
You are wise. Most do not look past my look and assume that I am all devil. Hence my need to be able to hide myself when doing business. I should kind of look a bit sad at that.
This is a fanciful thing that in the middle of the night my wives and children return to me, brought to me by devils and monsters. Yet I have heard
with us too.
I have heard that there are devils and monsters within the Dales who have the same enemies as I. You say that you have been enemies to the Zentarum, and you have the evidence to show for it. Tell me the specifics. What actions have you taken against these foulest of men?
Okay, I'm gonna need help from everyone here because I'm getting stuff mixed together. I know we assaulted the lumber camp.
Uh-huh.
What else have we done against the Zentarum?
We almost killed their wizard dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we almost burnt their magic user alive at the camp.
And stole his spell
He
book.
only-
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, that's right. We have stolen, and I will show him the spell book of the wizard. It's harmless.
Did we kill the other wizard? The one at Daggerdale?
Oh yeah, we did. We can say he's Zentarum. It's fine.
He was Zentarum.
Yeah, we're mage killers ourselves.
Then we can bond over our shared experiences.
I suppose in a way, like sharing like the Zentarum map with these guys is acting against them. Just like sharing their like, I guess, held information.
Yeah, he accepts it. This could be, some kind of deep agent cover, and he's not completely convinced. but he accepts it on face value for now. It is
Freaking
true
nat
that
20 on his freaking insight.
devils are not the greatest of my enemies, and not anymore, and nor are the Zentarim, whose mischievous nature means that they disturb that which must lay hidden and sleeping. Nay, my true enemies are the shadows that cast no shadow. Do you know of which I speak?
Are they still speaking Bedine here?
We'll say no. We'll say no. He probably wants the rest of you to understand at this point.
Yeah, Shakara will kind of perk up with that.
You must explain. That I am not sure what that is referring to.
In the months past, in the depths of winter, a great shadow appeared in the sky, and he points vaguely west in the direction where we're heading, west-southwest. A great shadow appeared in the sky. Soon after, rivers began to run through the desert, cold and swift, and they have fed into a sea, a lake which has appeared, and an oasis 100 times larger than our silver oasis here. Within that shadow, there are demons. They are made of shadow, yet they cast no shadow. Their magical powers are beyond anything I have ever seen. And I believe that it was the shadows without shadow who have destroyed my mountain and turned my order into the cult of the Shattered Peak.
Oh, that is the mountain you speak of. I've had strange dreams about it. Blessings from the spirits.
Blessings or curses?
I mean, you can never be too sure, but they've only been helpful so far.
He looks over at his wives, and she gives him a stern look, like, Medine women sometimes have prophetic dreams, and you go ahead and think that they're the sign of the devil, but maybe they're the signs of the gods. Tell me about your dreams. What have you seen?
Just darkness creeping over the deserts. I'm just standing there, watching the lake. I'm watching my mentors cross over it.
I see. Well, then perhaps you are being guided here into this dangerous realm to help uncover the mysteries of these shadows who bear no shadow. What would you sing me a song that I might know more about you?
Sure, she'll sing a song, but it's going to be in Qataran.
He listens all the same. He can't understand a word that you say, but your throat singing is an art that he appreciates. Not very good, perhaps, but he appreciates it all the same.
Sounds like Budget the Who.
You hear him say to one of his wives in the Bedine tongue, "The women of this ugly woman has an ugly voice."
Mara will chuckle at that to herself.
Then what brings you into the desert? You are liberators, of that I can see. But why do you come all this way?
To make sure that the women arrive safely.
I suppose Flash just repeat like, man's obliged to help a woman.
And we have already established that you are not men. The devils and monsters have no such obligation.
No, but Mara will gesture towards Lady Eleanor. A knight from Quartermere must follow their oath.
A knight? I know little of your culture, but I do know that women cannot be knights. At least your people get something right.
Well, you would be
I thought
mistaken.
Quartermerians could be.
Maybe he's wrong. Eleanor?
Yeah, well, you would be mistaken, sir. Even if not an official knight by station, I am a knight by my deeds.
Well, then as a member of another order, from one order to another, I welcome you into Anarok, that we might find a common foe. So tell me, Lady Knight, what you are not a man either. Is it your knightly duties that have brought you this far?
It is indeed. My
And,
humble obligation.
And your obligation must require no payment.
It would be quite nice to receive some sort of reward, I suppose, but seeing your elated face as you held your wives and children again is all the reward that I need.
But surely you would be rewarded by the other tribes for bringing their family back to them too, no?
Yes, you are right. And those women who are unmarried, I will take their dowries. And it is not fitting that you should go without.
Well, I will leave it for them to decide.
I'm sure we can come to an agreeable solution.
Yes, I think we can. My camels are laden with many valuables, and I would be happy to give you some of my goods so that there is no resentment on either side.
That would be good.
Very good. Then will you accept myrrh, and will you accept opium, and will you accept the fruit of the chili? I can give you each of these.
Yes. Those would do fine.
Very good, very good. Then we have come to an agreement. And now let us fight! Your songs have been appreciated, he says unconvincingly. But now it is time for more entertainment. I would see the best of your fighters against the best of mine. Do not kill my man, and my man will not kill you. But I think that you will be bested. For Gustav is a veteran of the greatest arena in the world, the Colosseum of Hillsfar. And any man who can survive 1,000 fights in the Colosseum must surely be better than anything you can match, even your Lady Knight.
It's an interesting challenge for sure. Also, I cut out a moment there. Was the deal reached?
Yeah, that's right. He's going to give us a bunch of chili and myrrh and opium.
Poppies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's okay, Eleanor. They're just poppy flowers. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. It's I think it was common knowledge even back then that opium was an effective painkiller and had medicinal.
Oh, there you go. It's medicine. That's totally what it's going to be used for. It's fine.
Yeah, totally.
That's what I tell myself every time I do drugs.
Jeez.
Well, I'm definitely eager to ease the tension because even though I couldn't understand their conversation in Badine, I could see the tensions rise and fall. And for a moment there, I thought we might have to fight. So, sure, I'll accept this challenge. I'll go one-on-one with this champion of yours.
Very good. Very good. This shall be very entertaining.
I shall take my seat at the table near the. I'm assuming we would have seats near at his table, being his guest. Yes.
Yeah, they don't have tables though. They just have.
But yeah, like a cushion near his.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
It's now that I regret not being a monk.
Is this fight with weapons, or is this with?
I was going to suggest unarmed because it's the most
You're
most fair way to fight. But if he thinks that a fight with weapons would be more interesting,
He would prefer wrestling. That's what his band is good at.
interesting. Well, sure. I'll take off my chainmail so it doesn't hinder me during the fight.
Well,
I assume that he's also relatively unarmored.
yeah, that's right. Completely unarmored. Yeah, but I'm an enormous dude, 8 feet tall. I do not think that this will be a fair match. Your best woman against my best man.
She's not even our best woman.
Well, I
Well-
accept the challenge nonetheless.
True, but she is so over concerned with a fair fight, so she must take off her armor and not fight the way she normally does. That one's pretty, but not always so bright.
Very well. Move those camels back.
So at what point, I ask him, is the fight considered won?
When you plead for mercy,
I see.
and you know that my man has bested you. Is there any here who have confidence in this woman? It is an unfair wager, and thus I would offer an unfair incentive.
Oh? What do you have in mind?
I put 10 to 1 on my man.
Sounds fair to me. I'll throw down 20.
Very good. Do you have silver?
Phil pulled up his
I do.
7 silver coins because that is all of his money. He believes.
I have 12 silver.
I have 520 gold.
Slap that on there. 20 times.
He looks down at your 500 and thinks, I think 100 will be sufficient.
Mara's not throwing away her coin. Sorry, Eleanor.
Fair enough.
It's already been a
gonna
long
be-
day. You may not be at your best, you know.
Out of character, I don't really fancy my chances either because I'm not using any magic. I'm not using any class features. This is just straight up,
This
it's
guy's
straight up
cool.
strength. Just that's it.
The sheer confidence of Shaka. It's like looking like, fuck, like, really? You're gonna bet 300 gold? God, like, there's an ace up that sleeve.
I'm only putting 100 down.
If you fail,
Yeah.
you fail feminism.
There you go.
weapons fighting, I would volunteer artisan, but he's not good at strength in the slightest.
It's like just apply divine smite and pay him across the sands.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could smite on my punches. Yeah, but
Yes,
I'm
you
not gonna-
can. Yeah, like it's not rules as written, but I don't mind that. I have no problem with smite punch.
but that would be unfair, so I'm not going to do that.
I got like a 19 strength.
One hit KOs you.
I could also heal myself with lay on hands, but that's magic, so that's cheating, so I'm not also going to do that.
Okay, maybe we'll just have Grimes fight him. Like,
Yeah, Grimes
God,
probably
don't
would have.
cheat.
Grimes probably would have been a better candidate, but here we are.
I
I
believe in you.
My knightly code means that I have to fight fair.
You have the power of friendship and love on your side in Jesus. That's all you need.
Yeah, the
And
power of
maybe
God in
anime. Yeah.
But she's not allowed to use the power of Jesus, though.
Alrighty then, let us begin.
I do want to note of where the Bedine women will be at this time. Are they going to be watching? Are they going to be in their tent?
Yeah, they will be watching. It's like a festival, I guess, a celebration, and thus the children come out and the servants stop working and so on.
Just want to make sure none of them are taking advantage of while we're distracted.
I'm gonna lace my cigar with some opium, and then I'm gonna turn to the mage slayer and say, "Will you be showing us how strong you are after this battle?"
Who do you ask if they're studying hostility?
I'm I guess he's the leader.
I guess so, yeah. You are my guest, and this is entertainment. As long as you lose fairly and do not grow wroth at your imminent defeat, then I shall not feel angered by it.
Okay, I was just saying if you would want to wrestle after this match, but it's up to you. I'm gonna hit this cigar and cheer on my lady Eleanor over there. Go get her, girl. Go beat the shit out of him.
Do put your cigar away and come and join me from my hookah. You will find that the water is very soothing for your smoke.
Hookah. Okay, I don't know what that is, but it sounds like a drink, but I'll try it.
oh, Mara will totally join in on that if she's allowed. Maybe there's like a smaller women's hookah next to it. I don't know.
Interesting things, hookahs.
All right. Let us begin then.
Ready to, I assume, roll initiative.
Yeah.
17. Pretty good, considering I don't have any modifier.
Better than him. Big, fat, heavy guy. You rush in and he tries to grab.
Alrighty then. So, once I'm sure that he's ready and the match has started, I'll take the initiative, charge up towards him. As he goes to try and grab me or strike out at me or whatever he tries to do, I'll try to duck his punch and try to grab his arm and like put it behind his back and sort of like a hold like that and make a grapple check.
All right.
Going for an instant submission.
Yeah, he said we win when the other person begs for mercy. So the idea is to try and. Oh God, I am severely outmatched.
Severely
Plus
man.
10. You're fine.
You mean you don't? Are you sure you don't want to do the smite fist?
Oh God, he has 3 attacks as well.
Ah,
I hope you're ready to watch me get beaten down. Yeah, I'm
Well,
not
you
wearing
can't hit
armor,
her.
so the first 2 attacks hit.
They will hit, will they? So that's savage. 2 strength, 15 checks, or be pinned.
Yeah.
Oh.
Rip.
So,
So the
so
third
I
one
guess
hits too.
Yeah, so I guess as I go to try and duck his punch, I am unaware that the punch is actually a feint, and he strikes out with his other hand instead, punches me across the jaw, and then gets me in a grapple. Totally reverses the situation on me, and just rattles my brain case.
I just see the meme: strongest devil, weakest Fadine.
Yeah, that's it. All right, I guess it's your go, Eleanor.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to win this. Christ. All right. So let me just calculate how much damage I've taken so far.
Use magic.
Cheat. Use magic.
Eat.
I can't. This is going to be a one-sided beatdown, and it has to be. I am currently grappled. That's unfortunate.
It
And
just means
also
you can't
prone.
move, so you can still punch.
Yeah, I am prone and grappled.
That's not good. Oh, so you can't stand either?
Yeah.
No, I'm stuck prone.
Just
So I
roll
will.
2 nat 20s.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot I have 2 attacks. So I could have made it. I think you can make another check as well as when you grapple, but it's fine. For my first check, I'll attempt to break out, which is unlikely considering it's plus 10, but I'll try. Natural 1, no. I'm staying right where I
Whoa.
am.
All right. The gladiator is not enjoying this, and nor is the guy watching it. It's just like, this will be the last time that I let a woman fight, even if she is claims to be a dragon slayer.
Yeah.
She was
So
more
yeah,
handy with her pole than her.
Oh
actual
yes. Of course, the woman is useful. Yes, it's just right now. Of course.
Yeah, she's like she's just like I said earlier. She may be pretty, but she is also an idiot.
It's been a long day.
right, so as I'm completely holding back, not using any magic, no divine abilities, no class features, no armor. You watch as I charge forward, attempt to grapple this guy, get baited,
Get
get
the
punched,
shit beat out of you.
get pinned, and then you watch as I take like 3 or 4 meaty punches to the face, and I just go limp.
What a blow.
Baited.
Did that knock you out?
Yeah.
That was not entertaining at all. I demand another fight.
All right, Mara will go drag Eleanor out and use
Do I
her
have to
last
help you?
spell slot. Use her last spell slot to and last sorcery point to do it suddenly to just heal. So you have some.
So I have some life in my body.
Yep.
Alright, then I come to in your arm, bruised and bloodied.
You idiot, and she will kiss your forehead.
I just cough weakly. Like, well, that went about how I expected.
Are your men as weak as your women?
Okay, I'm gonna do this. This guy seems like a fun boy to wrestle. Is he
Very
wearing
well.
his armor?
No, he's just got his body fat as protection.
Grimes goes up and you just hear, watch out, watch out, watch out. RKO.
Throw off my armor.
Have you enough silver to place another bet? Or has your purse been as wounded as your knight?
I'll throw down another 20.
Very good, very good. I think that your man must be at least twice as good as your woman, so I will give you odds of 5 to 1.
Yeah, why not?
All right, roll for initiative.
I changed my
See,
mind.
he's had his
Talk
warm up.
about-
Now he's got a better initiative.
Oh,
Yeah, he was holding back last time.
that's right. It's like this time it's a man, and so he charges in there and starts slamming. Bow!
Oh my god!
Make a DC 15 strength saving throw. No, you just managed to not prevent it. And another. Oh, this is better. And another. Oh, so he tries to pick you up and suplex you, but you slip out of that. He tries to pile drive you, you slip out of that. He just tries to hit you with sheer force, and although he's slapping at your flesh, you stay standing. Your man is good.
He is okay.
That's some brutal damage. Yeah.
Yeah, how much damage in total?
Oh, let's see.
15
And 17? 16 and 17. 33?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get up after getting knocked around a bit, and I say, "Oh, you hit hard." And I will use my bonus action to use Giant's Might, and I'm gonna grow in a large size.
Sorcery, he says, and he reaches for his blade.
Can I grab his arm to stop him?
Yeah, if you're there, yeah, you can.
If you're ballsy enough.
Trust me, just watch. This will be entertaining.
If you are going to lay your hands on me, woman, then I will lay my hands on you all night.
We'll see what happens.
What's an unarmed strike? Is it a 1d6 or 1d4?
It's
He
1
takes
plus
that.
10.
Or what? Yeah, 1 plus strike.
Yeah, unless you have like some sort of natural weapon, you really have a disadvantage like, in any of these like brawls.
Yeah, unless you're a monk or something, this is really not in your favor.
Alright, so yes, 1d6 plus 1 plus your strength mod. I suppose it is fair. He is still barely as big as Gustav. Oh, alright, so it's a grapple check. I'm sorry, I missed that. It's supposed to be plus 3 on top of that, not that it's going to matter. Oh! Your man has mine in a grip. Ah! Oh, a good show, a good show. And he tries to do a reversal. Opposed athletics. Or acrobatics. Yep, that's it. And you stay within his grip. Oh! Your man has mine! And now pose 21.
Oof.
Oh, and he just barely gets out. Oh yes, Gustav, that's it. And he slips out of your grapple and then picks you up and prepares to do a body slam. Make a strength 15 saving throw, or be body slammed. Done. He gets out of your grip, reverses, picks you up, and is about to body slam you, but you prevent that from happening. What's that look like?
He's since I'm a bigger size, he's probably just like having a tougher time lifting me up. So as he's getting tired, he kind of drops me back down.
Perfect.
And then I guess I'm gonna try to strike him twice.
All right.
Nice video.
Yeah, right. Like I saw that match. Yeah. All right. Bam, bam. Both of those slaps hit him. So how much damage has he taken so far? 8 plus another 9 plus another 8 is 16 and 27. That's not bad. That's not bad. You've given him a few bruises, and he returns the favour. Two strength saves. If you fail the first one, the second one will hit. And you do, so he actually gets advantage on his second attack, which means it's a hit. For a total of 8, 8 and 10, 16, 26 points of damage.
I am knocked out. And then I guess I shrink back down.
KO.
Hey, just a moment, I'll be with you in a moment.
Oh,
God, he's a monster.
you know, I feel like we might be just a tad underleveled for this area.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because we're attacking him without class features or weapons.
Right,
Yeah,
against something that
No,
is designed to fight without weapons.
This is his thing. And this is not our thing.
We're going
Like,
against these
he'd
wizards
be-
without counterspell, and we're doing really poorly. I wonder why that.
I reckon even as he is fighting unarmed, he'd still be a challenge for multiple of us, even if we ganged up on him at once.
Yeah.
We still wouldn't be able to take him down, probably.
And he's not even the strong one here.
A 2d4 plus strength, so he's basically stabbing you twice with the dagger each round.
Uh-huh. 3 times, yeah. Or 6 times.
He's stabbing you 6 times with a dagger every round.
Yeah. Only a plus 10 to hit. No big deal.
And everyone's like, I take off all my armor, so my AC is back.
Huh.
With a plus 10 to hit, I'm not sure it would have mattered.
It's only a plus 8, but yeah. Or plus 7, but still.
All right,
So, like, that's a larger chance that he would have missed a couple times though. Like through all the swings. That 14 would have missed, stuff like that.
Yeah, I got knocked out.
You're knocked out? My man is triumphant. At least that was entertaining. Very good,
Yeah,
very good.
I go from like giant form and back down to like the normal size I was. Like I deflate like a balloon.
You will see that even Magi are no match for quick fists and strong arms.
I imagine
Get
he
up all.
punches you in the abdomen, you fall onto your back, and then shrink to leave like a huge outline of how big you were in the sand.
I should get Tim back to bed now. He looks quite beat.
Yeah.
Very
I go
well.
to shake his hand after after if I'm able to come up conscious, I go to guy shake his hand.
He looks at your hand. He looks at his master. His master is already distracted by his family and his wives, and Gladiator shakes your hand and helps you to your feet.
Yeah, I'll give the huge fellow a respectful nod as well. Like, he's damn strong. I'm sure he knows it.
You would do well in the pits of Hillsfar, though I hope you never have to experience them.
Hopefully not, but at least that ordeal forged you into the titan of a man you are now.
Yes, I owe my life and my freedom to Shalazar. I would have died in there, inevitably, had he not purchased my contract from the city and given me this job. I have only 7 more years of service before I can return to my tribe and finish my father at last.
Well, with the prowess you've accumulated, I imagine you would have a good chance of accomplishing that feat.
I wish I could say the same for you, but I think that whatever you have come to Anarok to do, you will fail. For I am not the strongest here.
Kind of already succeeded.
Partly succeeded.
If you know what is good for you, you will turn around in the morning and go back to the Greenlands from whence you have came.
Sound advice, but advice that I cannot follow until my mission is done.
What is your mission, pray tell, the gladiator asks.
I explain that just as we handed over the wives and the children to his master, we intend to do the same for the other tribes of the Bedine.
Because I think he took all the women.
Yeah, he agreed
did
to
I
take
miss
them all.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gave us his word he would take them all, so
So,
he
like, when he
decided.
says we're done here, like he's actually like we're finished. Like all the women are gone.
Oh, okay. Okay, I cut out for that part of the deal.
Yeah, not a problem at all, not a problem at all. I
So
thought you might have been referring to, going to see the Shadow Sea or investigating the
Yeah.
disappearance of the Drew. There are certainly other quests here. So I
Okay.
thought you might have been referring to that.
Quest for the future party.
Yeah.
I will inquire about the shattering of the spire. Like, what he knows about that.
Precious little. The mountain was destroyed by a great magical attack. It was hit with lightning that came from shadows in the sky. There were no survivors.
I see.
About how far away
But I do not.
are we from that?
Oh, we are not so far. And he pulls out his map. Our map.
Uh-huh.
It is the Scimitar Spires are this mountains range that even in the starlight you can make out in the distance. It would not be many miles at all to reach. 30 miles, no more.
Okay. Do you suppose we could reach there in a day?
You could reach the foothills, but unless you are skilled mountaineers or you can fly like your monster bird, then you will struggle to reach the peak.
It's unfortunately a type of bird that cannot fly.
Then what is the use of being a bird?
To be able to repeat what people say when we need it.
It is the most useless
Like a
bird that I have ever heard. A bird that cannot fly is not a bird at all.
Would we be able to see your destroyed tower from the foothills?
Yes, you will see it, though if you do not know what to look for, you may mistake it for just another peak. But I think that you will recognize it looks as a volcano does, without the smoke or steam.
Right? Well, would you guys mind accompanying me so I could finish my quest? Scout it out and head back to the tribe, or head back to the moot.
See why not? We have no other business here in the desert.
Would that be uh, would that be okay if we went and investigated to see what evil if we can stop the evil that destroyed your order?
You think we could stop the evil that killed the archdruid and two of the Hierophants?
Perhaps it has been weakened. And no, I was asking the other dude.
He thinks about it and says basically the same thing. Between two of you, you could not even hurt my man. I would be surprised if you...
He took a couple punches.
He is not hurt. He looks at him. He has been slapped around a bit, but a father will slap his baby. That does not mean that he has hurt his baby.
Someone destroyed a mountain, and we couldn't hurt a mound of man.
I suspect that you could not even climb the mountain to reach the shattered spire. The people from the Green Lands are very weak, that is known.
I just saw the sad Cancun noises.
Somehow they knew his names.
It's almost like the whole purpose of the Kenku is their flight was stolen from them. So it's like, bro, I'm trying.
I mean, when there's a Kenku in the party and like a broom of flying or flying boots drop, I always suggest to go to the Kenku.
What is the use of wings if they cannot fly? It is like a man with no balls.
Does he even have wings?
Because I think they had like wings Aarakocra style that came off their like shoulders, but they're taken away.
Right.
Yeah. This kind of got feathery hands.
You know, those little claw things.
Not a bird, but a monster.
Yo.
Hey, but the monster brought their wives back. I mean, but I suppose like if they're doing like the shell game and stuff like that, he'll like play that.
Or I might be getting a little drunk.
Well, he won't be supplying the alcohol because Badine don't drink.
Oh, what? What kind of boring Badine are they? Okay.
They smoke lots of drugs.
Oh, well, then she might be enjoying some of that.
Alrighty. Hi. You feel like you are in a dreamlike state. Your hands and feet are floating, and your mind is giddy.
Is there music?
There is music, and fortunately, Chakra is not playing, providing it. But yeah, the music is provided by some of his wives are doing it, but probably the best musician is a fair-skinned woman whose skin has naturally tanned since she's been here in the desert. But it's clearly not Badine as can be. Her hair is a reddish brown. Its skin has begun to freckle. Rather, the tanning is slight, whereas the freckles are are much more prominent. She sings and plays the harp, the flute. I meant the flute. Sings and plays the flute, and her dancers are sensual, and she knows how to move her belly and her hips in ways that gyrate one's hips almost as much as she gyrates hers.
I suppose at some point, like this will try to recreate like music you heard in. Is it Murmy Midra?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Performance?
Yeah, go ahead. At first, he really doesn't like it. It's clearly magic and therefore completely aberrant. But his children and wives dare to not defy him, but rather just tell him that they like it, and so he tolerates it against his better judgment.
Yeah, the record
What's
player.
wrong, but my bad. Ignore the miss. That's right. Ignore the misclick of the dagger.
Sure,
Stab in the dark.
literally.
I was like, what is drow music like anyway?
Yeah, good question. Maybe YouTube can tell us.
Whatever. What's their name? The Addams Family. Whatever their songs
Sort of
are.
like gothic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gothic, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that they would be, the Cradle of Filth and My Dying Bride and stuff. Yeah, Elven Gothic. Maybe Baroque. But maybe that's a bit too complex. But anyway, yeah. So that's awesome. He begins to grow tired and bleary-eyed and red-eyed and horny, and announces that he will be going to bed. And he claps and commands that the songs continue. But he takes the dancer with him. Thus we're left with a massive bowl of fucking weed and opium and tobacco and spices and incense of half a dozen different varieties. But the only alcohol is that which we bring ourselves.
Hmm.
All right, how long do we party?
All night.
All night. Fantastic. So until the dawn comes?
Could we leave before he figures out he's been charmed?
Yeah.
Because that's 8 hours.
What's the guy's name?
Shalazar? I think it's Shalazar. Yeah, it is.
Hold on, was he still charmed?
Last for 8
8
hours.
And it's
Yeah.
concentration.
Yeah,
It's concentration.
Then I guess we book it.
But why?
Like,
Why do you
leave
want to
and then-
leave, guys? We're having fun. They got drugs.
I tried them. They're not anything special.
That's because you're not real.
He can't even inhale. He just holds it to his mouth and expects something to happen.
Huh.
Plus, he
Yeah,
can't be
just-
poisoned, so he has an advantage against poison.
Yeah. All right. So, if assuming that we met them at 8 p.m., what time do we leave?
Hmm.
About midnight, maybe. I don't know. I'm just talking about.
Any other suggestions, or is midnight going to the decision?
I'd be fine with midnight.
Midnight works.
All right.
I suppose then we were going flight to spend some time going around saying bye to all the women.
Most of them are asleep, but the ones that are not, you're able to, say your final goodbyes,
Yeah, like
and
they're
few of
on
them
his
hug.
list of what they're on his Kenku list. So, he's gonna miss them.
Yeah. All right.
Are Badine women now Kenku?
No, just these specific ones because they used to be slaves.
Oh, okay.
Do we have someone who can still cast Pass Without Trace?
I can. I don't have it prepared though.
Oh, never mind. I was going to say if.
Or no, I do have it prepared. Yeah, I can cast
Yeah,
it.
that way they won't know where we've gone.
Sure, let's
Only
just
they-
cast magic. I'm sure the magic hunter won't be able to follow our magic trail.
Yeah, I just figured it would prevent us from leaving a trail, but okay.
No, I'll cast it. I was making a joke.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, he seems to fight magic by, like, hitting it before it can do anything. Not like, he already got charmed by magic, the guy who hates magic. And
Right?
I will also, before we leave, make sure, like, everyone in the main tent is asleep. And totally jacking his weed.
Totally what?
Stealing his weed.
Oh, nice.
Is this going to turn like a fairy tale? Like, it's like don't trust the demons no matter what they bring.
They'll steal your drugs, kids.
Yeah.
All right. So at midnight we head out, and shortly after we cast Pass Without Trace and disappear off into the sands. How long do we keep walking? But like it'll leave us exhausted the next day. But how long do we keep walking?
You go for like, I don't know, 2 hours. Same camp for the rest of for a while. Get some sleep.
Yep. Everyone agree with that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Cool. Any campfires, torches?
Nope.
Nah.
Kind of defies the point, right?
Leaving like thieves in the night, which we kind of are now.
There's a strange one. You eat this.
Salama. All right.
Get well.
Thank you. And my own Badine harem just came in and delivered me some lunch. That was really nice of them. All right. You came for about you walked for about 2 hours, which means that you're not that far away. You're a couple of miles away, and so at this distance, you hear the screaming. The screaming is followed by wailing, and a wailing woman, or several of them, maybe as many as three score or 3 dozen. Wailing women have a particular sound. It's half howl, it's half cry, it's part scream, and it's all anguish and misery. Wailing women from the direction in which we have come.
God damn it.
Oh, not my problem.
My drugs.
I'll mention to Did we check to see whether they wanted to actually go, or did we just kind of hand them over for money?
We asked them, and if it was like a good idea, pretty much.
And what did they say?
And he was under oath to deliver them.
Yeah.
I see.
Out of
suppose
character,
the oath-
I think something happened with the woman he bedded down with.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
It's annoying that I cut out for that part, but what's done has been done.
Is it wailing as in dying, or wailing as in like anguish?
No, yeah, wailing. Have you ever seen like footage of women whose houses have been blown up by missiles? It's like that.
Or any bystander in the police video?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, like a really sometimes wailing happens at funerals. Normally, we're pretty subdued at funerals and we weep, but sometimes people wail.
Yeah, depends on the culture, yeah.
What was that?
Depends on the culture, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah, it's like I think mostly cultural. Yeah. Wailing's not something that we do at funerals, but other cultures do.
Wonder if someone died at camp.
Yeah, something happened.
Well, are we heading back or not?
Well, I can't very well just sit here and pretend that I'm not hearing this.
If we head back, they're probably dead. You know that, right?
Maybe so, but I still have to. Must.
All right, let's go.
Myra's not going.
I'll head back myself if need be. I'll hop on my horse.
Did we get a short rest then?
Yeah, we got a short rest. Yeah.
So thank God for that. At least I'm not on 11 HP.
He won't say anything, but like he'll like step to your side, show that he'll go with you.
Yeah.
Is that enough? Hopefully. While seeing a show of support, I'll give you a pat on the feathery shoulder and say you needn't come with me if you don't want to.
Yeah, Chalk will pick up her staff and begin walking back with you.
Very well then.
All right. All right. So it's going to take us probably less than 2 hours because we might be hurrying away. Though we're hurrying back, but we hurried away, so maybe it'll take 2 hours. But some of us are going back, some of us are not. And those that do go back arrive before dawn. You're not sure how long before dawn, an hour or two. You arrive before dawn, and yeah, the camp is in turmoil. The body of the patriarch of Shalazar is on a pyre. The pyre has not been lit, but he's on a pyre. And there are wives wailing and younger women weeping. A number of children are confused and bleary-eyed. And his soldiers are looking for something in the sand. Are we bearing torches?
Do we all have dark vision?
I don't, but it'd be what, like 4 in the morning now? 5?
Probably 4. So yeah, the darkest hour.
Yeah, then Char would have a torch out.
All right, you
produce flame in her hand.
You hear the thundering of hooves as well as much as hooves can thunder on sand, as well as the galloping of a camel. And in the shadow of the campfires, you can see a small army, 20 people, come charging towards you.
Well, I'll say to Chalk and Flightless, quick, hop on my horse. If we need to make a quick escape.
I'll wild shape into a field mouse and crawl on your back.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
he can't do that, so he'll just get on the horse.
Well, there's like 20 people coming towards us, and considering the tense atmosphere, I have a feeling that they aren't in a talking mood, especially since we don't have the person who can actually speak the dean here.
Hey,
So I
she's
think-
tired.
Yeah.
I thought he was on a rampage, not like dead.
I kind of figured he was dead.
I suppose I have like a few basic terms, and I suppose don't attackers is what would be one of them.
Sure.
Friends? Yeah.
Hmm.
Suppose
Well,
I'll probably
quickly-
shout that one out.
I'll quickly ask: should we attempt to parley, or should we escape quickly?
Squeak, squeak.
Squeak, squeak.
There we go.
Yeah, now,
Suppose,
yeah,
do I
of
see
course.
like, is it just like him who's dead, or was there like more chaos than that?
I guess, yeah, perception check maybe, or insight, either is fine.
Let's try and get a.
Oh, well.
Control 20.
Brilliant. Yeah, it did.
Have you score the set?
Oh. It appears to just be him. Yeah.
Probably
Hmm.
poisoned.
Is there like signs of devastation, like they were attacked by a rival group, or is he just dead?
No, there's like the tents are undamaged. The tents are still where they were. The ropes have not been cut. The camp is mobilised, and more than half of the soldiery are coming towards us, leaving only a skeleton force to protect everything else that they've got.
My guess is that the dancer killed him, and we're getting blamed because we're like the demon travelers.
Yeah,
He
my
disappeared the night he died.
my theory is that once he realised he'd been charmed, he was so shamed by it that he killed himself. That's my theory.
No. There was all that poison in the water. Maybe
Yeah,
it was a snake.
Maybe he was
Like these-
secretly 3 kobolds in a trench coat, and the water killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, these riders coming towards us. Are they like to have their swords drawn?
Yeah. Killers! Yells Gustav in the common tongue. Killers! Prepare to face justice!
I think that's pretty obvious. Time to turn 180 and gallop away into the darkness. Well, yeah.
The order in charge of the horse, so I guess you get to make the decision.
Yeah, let's get the hell out of here.
Make an animal handling check at disadvantage because your horse can't see shit.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think it can it? I don't think fine. It's a celestial, but I don't think it has dark vision.
Or if it's celestial, it might, but I don't know if it does. If it does, that'll make me
takes the form of an animal. Horses don't have dark vision.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, it's unusually intelligent, but it's not. It doesn't seem to have dark vision.
Mhm.
Well, I will. Things I don't want to just have it just collapse and send us all sprawling into the sands. I'll have it light up. I'll light up like the tip of my halberd and shine it in front of the horse so it can see where it's going. And I'm
Alright.
betting on them not being willing to chase us for hours into the desert and leave their camp undefended.
Good call. Yeah, alright. So I'll make an animal handling check without disadvantage.
Alrighty. 16.
16 is pretty good. You will be able to get away, but not before they launch no fewer than 20 arrows at us. So, I'll roll to see how many. Oh, I suppose we have to roll to see who gets hit by which. I'll just divide it up evenly. Mouse doesn't get hit, so that's okay. So that Flightless, the horse, and Eleanor.
Yeah, because since they're galloping towards us, would that throw off their aim a little bit?
Yeah, and the wrong range would make it harder as well, so it'll be a disadvantage. And with that in mind, I might set up a macro rather than rolling 40 times.
Oh man, this is gonna suck.
Could do indeed. Alright, tribal. This has been a good encounter. Okay, do they have short bows? They don't.
Deserves better.
I'll quickly add in a short bow. Okay, we'll be at +2. D6 damage.
They loose their arrows at us. Would any of us have time to cast anything?
You probably don't know the arrows are coming until they're already coming.
Fair enough.
Like if you had done it as part of your escape, then that would have worked. But no, so it's only when the arrows start landing that you realise you're under attack.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So the first 6 are against Eleanor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The
Only one.
disadvantage. So I think just one.
Just one. And the next 6 are at the Kenku. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 14, I think, is the highest.
And then 14 hits.
Yeah. That was 13 hit.
13 hit.
Oh yeah, 13 hits.
Alright, so hit twice, I presume. 5 and 2. A 12 hit. Is a 12 hit?
No, 12 doesn't.
Alright, so 5 and 2, 7. And the remaining 8 are against the horse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Come on, horsey. So what we got? We've got an 18.
18 to 18. Is that? Yeah.
So 3 hits for a total of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It can take that.
Oh, I thought it had 11 hit points, doesn't it?
I'm sure it has 19 hit points.
Oh, 19, right. The difference between a horse and a riding horse and a war horse then. Okay, make an animal handling check, because your horse doesn't like being shot.
Okay. Animal handling.
Ooh, 11 we'll say is enough. That sounds about right. Okay, cool. And so, injured, you run off into the desert, leaving a trail of blood in your wake.
Well,
You make it back to your camp shortly after the sun has broken.
yeah, riddled with arrows.
Guess how the negotiations went, Mara?
Yeah. So I'll inform them of what we discovered. The big cheese, so to speak, is dead. He appears to be the only casualty. And the men, upon seeing us, were immediately hostile.
They probably assume we killed him.
I think that's a fair
Alright.
assumption to make.
You didn't do anything before we left. Did you?
I just took some stuff. I didn't kill anyone.
Okay, you didn't mix any assassin's blood in with his hookah.
No, I still have all 20.
Can I count it to make sure?
Sure.
Rude.
Well, this certainly complicates
I'll
things.
even show you the 2 jars of carrion mucus I also have, and like all of my stash. Okay.
Oh, I believe you.
No, she's still gonna pretend to be indignant. It's fine.
Is there a potato gun in that book of stuff to make? Just like shoot those jars at people.
I suppose for like the
Potentially.
wide, he'll sort of just to see if he can look like through like the stuff you stole. Maybe like because if it's poison, if he was poisoned, like the stuff you took might be poisoned.
Yeah. So we can check the.
Do you have to detect poison or something, or are you just going to do it manually by sniffing and shit?
Investigation.
Investigation.
Could I assist with my herbalism kit?
Good call. Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't detect poison a
23.
first level spell? But
I
we
suppose
technically
Yeah.
I've got the theory correct, but as I'm putting something aside, she just mentioned something.
Yeah, so Flightless comes up with the idea, and but it's the herbalism test. Like maybe it burns blue when it's poisoned or something like that. You add certain chemicals that that indicate toxins. No, nothing there. Not beyond the fact that opium itself, if taken in high enough doses, will kill.
It would just be unfortunate if he just happened to overdose on the night we snuck out.
Just fucked his wife so hard that it just the old heart gave out.
What are the chances his wife killed him? Wives.
Well, my first thought was perhaps he might have taken his own life out of shame, but as we fled from his men, I recall hearing one of them shout out "killers," implying that he was murdered and it was not suicide.
What? I heard about these politicians that make murder look like suicide. Maybe he did the opposite.
I don't know.
Reverse Epstein.
If it was suicide to attempt to regain his honor, he would have wanted it to be known. But who would kill him? And how would they get past all of his men?
perhaps
And
it was
his
the
5
other
wives.
perhaps it was the other non-Bedine woman there.
Was there another non-Bedine woman there?
Yeah, the
Yeah, there
dancer.
was.
The belly dancer that he took into his tent.
Redhead.
Oh, it was probably his wife then. He was mad. Completely understandable. Happens all the time.
Huh.
Well, this does complicate things. Now that he's dead, the oath he swore to protect the women means nothing.
Do you want to go explain to them?
I'm not sure what to do, honestly.
It's not as if we can actually do anything. We're severely outnumbered. One of not their strongest man, absolutely beat the shit out of 2 of us. Like it was nothing. Imagine what 20 of them could do.
Well, that and we're all pretty damn exhausted.
Yeah.
Mm,
Might be best just to get out of the desert when we can.
Yep.
I hate to say it, but I suppose it would be suicidal to attempt to do anything, and yes, it's an unfortunate situation.
Technically, we got the Badine and delivered them. It's not up to us what politics transpire when we depart.
I did learn more about what might have happened to the druids.
What did you learn?
Something about a cult of shadows. And whatever organization he was part of was destroyed by some big shadow shit.
Let's also repeat the guy just saying he was he was a group of mage slayers, maybe like druids.
No. No, he wasn't. The druids weren't killed by him.
No, but they probably died with his order.
Yeah.
My guess.
Well, I suppose we've done all we can.
Yep.
What other option do we have but to go there and slaughter the men who remain? Like, hardly an option at all.
Because that would be killing like their brothers and like husbands.
Exactly. No matter what we do, we don't win.
I mean, suppose if anything, they'll band together against the outsiders, which is us. I guess maybe we help in a weird way.
Suppose. So that woman we saw, Tell me more about her. I saw very little of her that night. I was licking my wounds. You mentioned she didn't appear to be part of that tribe.
He seemed probably like a slave of some sort, in my assumption.
Could you get any idea of what part of the realm she might have been from? After all, you said red hair. That doesn't sound like something Bettine would have.
Yeah, maybe a Daleslander. That'd be my only guess.
Maybe an agent of the Zentarum. Take out
Maybe.
the tribes that aren't friendly to them.
Possibly. There's got to be something we can do. It doesn't feel right to walk away after how far we've come and all we've done to leave it like this.
But, like, what can we do? We could try coming back and trying to find them when we're stronger, but honestly, they're now out of our hands and probably beyond our reach.
Suppose you're right. It wouldn't do to endanger our lives on a foolish errand like that. We already endangered our lives enough coming out here in the first place. Kind of sits and puts her head in her hands. Well, regardless, I suppose we should focus on what we can do now for the time being.
I tell it back to the Dales.
To
Yeah.
the
recommend-
Dales, if you will.
Yeah.
I think we should move on from here. If they believe us to be their leaders' killers, they might try to follow our trail.
Uh-huh.
So I'd say we should find some sort of shelter, get some proper rest before we embark on a much lengthier journey, and then decide what to do from there.
I agree. Let's find a place to bunker down for a little while.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
I doubt we'll get lucky with another oasis, but any kind of natural feature that can offer some shelter or security.
That's a good point. We're not on the Black Road anymore.
Hey, Arctic.
Yeah.
Hey, who sent the DM a private message? Was that like earlier or like at that time that you sent that?
That was a joke.
Yeah. It was a joke. Like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like whoever sent the message is the killer, right? Like.
That's right. I'm like, I did send you a private message, but that was something else.
Hang on. Wait a minute. That was me.
Still defended it.
Indeed.
Like
No,
Bison with the
What?
horns and the tent.
For feminism.
Actually, I have an idea on how to, because this is my last session I'm going to be able to do.
Sure.
I have an idea on how to drop Mara.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, Mara ditches the group with invisibility and goes and pretty much like takes over the tribe.
Right. Yeah.
Because, you know,
Then you'll
we'll
have to
find
have
the strongest.
then you'll have to have a duel with the gladiator because he, assumes that you're behind this.
I mean, once I've had a long rest, I can. Yeah, I can use some tricks on them. Like I'm not held to the same moral codes as other people.
All right. All right. What are we going to do? Are we going to play that out, or are we going to leave that as an unsolved mystery?
Was just for the memes, like just see because I've got pretty good perception. I might even be able to spot you leaving.
Sure.
Ready. So I guess we'll find a place to hunker down for a while, get some proper rest.
Uh-huh.
All right. Artisan, roll a d30, and we'll see what we find.
D30. Alright. Is that slash RD30?
That's right, with a space between the R and the D. All right.
A 2.
Oh, fuck! No.
Blue dragon time.
Okay, I'm going to have to take a break because I've got more extensive notes on this that I haven't translated onto the electronic version. So we'll give it a couple of minutes and we'll be back shortly.
Like, oh, I've done 29 of these events. It should be fine.
Exactly.
Kai inspiration.
Well, there's your plan for getting rid of Mara. TPK.
Yeah, I just figured it was a nice transition. Like she can either I don't know, she can come up with something. Like she's good at lying through her teeth and stuff like that.
So apparently Canada's rioting right now.
Why?
Well, 2 reasons. First, it's St. John Baptiste Day, so Quebec goes crazy to begin with.
Okay.
And the Montreal Canadiens just made it to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in 23 years, which
See.
is also Quebec, and they're going crazy.
I'm so happy. Let's go down into town and break shit.
Uh-huh. Oh, they're already downtown, though, so... Yeah, the hockey rink that they played at is officially in lockdown because it's too dangerous outside.
But
Right.
They get mad when people riot over people dying.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to be a little salty on that.
Is there as much fire?
Just a couple cop cars.
So it's not all the small businesses as well.
Not yet.
Oh yeah, it'll turn into that. It always does when it goes that way. Like,
I mean, I guess my stance is they should just all equally be arrested for vandalism.
Well, the problem is when you have that many people, it's hard to arrest them.
yeah, how do you identify all those faces?
I suppose just shoot them with rubber bullets until they go home.
Oh no, they're just tear gassing them.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back.
Hey. Canada's on fire, no need to worry.
Candles on fire, that's what they're meant to do.
No, Canada.
Oh, Canada's on fire. That's unfortunate. Did the Siberian traps explode or something?
Montreal just a little happy tonight.
Oh, wow. All right. That's
because of ice sports.
Yeah.
Let's face it. Montreal's not really part of Canada anyway. Really,
I used to be really good friends with one of the political party members of the Separatist Party.
Really?
Yeah, she was interesting.
It was one of the news events of my childhood that I remember when Montreal rejected independence. Something like I think it was 50.1% to 49.9%, or maybe it was 50.5 to 49.5. It was the closest of close calls, and the whole future of the country, or at least of the state, to depend on such a narrow vote was really something I remember. All right, you're gonna love this one. So we are we're still moving at a pretty fast pace, right? Like we want to get the fuck out of here and get as far away as from enemies as we can, and hunker down before the sun gets too high in the sky and starts blazing and burning us. That's all correct?
All right.
I think that's that sounds logical. We got back to the camp just around about dawn or before daybreak, and just hoofed it. And so we've been moving through the daylight, the early morning daylight. Just a moment. Yeah, no problems. Okay, cool. So we're not marching, but do we have any kind of marching order? Are we spread out in a flying V? Are we single file? Who's at the apex and so on? Or we're just scattered all over the place and it's kind of just random?
Probably fairly single file.
Mm-hmm.
Mara would be towards the back, or probably.
Yeah. Chaka would probably take the lead.
All right.
I would be at the rear.
All right. Mara, do you have a mount?
I do not.
Who does have a mount? Is it just our imaginary horse? Is that the only mount we've got?
And
Good.
bison, yeah.
And
Last
bison,
time we had a
and
couple horses and a camel, or did we?
Yeah.
Probably left the camel.
We had 4
Okay.
horses.
You didn't buy the camel from us.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had the horses that we got from. What's his name?
Random on.
Uh-huh.
And technically, we can have whoever create water enough for the people in the party, so they don't need to be laden with barrels anymore.
All right. Everybody make a. I think it's perception, I suppose. Yeah. I think perception is going to have to be the right skill. I can't think of a better one. This isn't a conventional perception in that we're looking for something, but rather this is like a surprise check. We are surprised, and those of you who get high, which is at this point only Mara, and also Artisan, will be able to react like on the first round. The rest of you will be surprised.
Still, the defender can't be surprised.
He can't be surprised. Okay, excellent. It's early in the morning, 7 or 8 a.m. It's getting hot, but it's going to get a shit ton hotter very soon. And we are still moving at as fast a pace as we can, trying to find an oasis, maybe an old ruin, some kind of cover, some kind of protection that we're going to be able to hunker down in for until sunset. Boom! It's like an explosion, almost without sound. Sand just flies up into the air and starts scattering, and those of you who fail your perception checks, so everyone except for Mara and the Steel Defender and Artisan, get sand in their eyes and can't see a single thing, but the rest of you will notice that it's reminiscent of the Hathor of the giant crocodile. It snaps up out of the sand, engulfs the camel in almost a single gulp, almost. Its head being almost as big as the camel as itself, snaps it off, and then dives back into the sand the way we might imagine a purple worm doing. And it's a lot like a great white shark, diving up out of the water, snatching the seal, straight back into the water, and this, in this case, is sand. Only it's not a shark, and it's not a worm, it's a dragon. And it's not blue, but a kind of yellowy brown. It didn't seem to have any wings, and maybe it wasn't a dragon at all, but it looked a lot like a wingless yellow-brown dragon that just snaps up, snatches the camel, and almost in a single movement is back down, burrowing, tunneling through the sand again. Those of you who are able to react do you want to roll for initiative? Do you do anything, or do you just stand there going, "Well, that happened"?
I'll cast Shillelagh.
Excellent. That's a bonus action, right?
Yeah.
All right, and I take the dodge action with the rest of
Yeah.
your action. Yeah.
I will use the distraction to innately cast invisibility, and that's how I'll disappear from the party.
Excellent. And as far as we know, you might have been gobbled up as well. The rest of you... Oh, no, Artisan, do you do anything?
Is there whatchamacallit? I guess looking to see if there's anything other than sand around us, I guess you could say.
Oh, there's some rocks. There's a few rocks.
Like big enough to stand on.
Yeah, maybe a couple of cacti.
I was just thinking we should probably get off the sand at this point. I'd just have my weapons out.
All right. And but it's all quiet, save for the horses, which are fucking scattering. They go ballistic and start running off into the desert.
With people on them?
I don't think they're carrying anyone. I'm pretty sure they're just carrying gear. Like it didn't sound like anyone was mounted, except Eleanor, and her horse is not running.
Perhaps this is for the best. The mount's running off gives the creature some easy pickings, some easy prey.
The mount's got all our drugs.
True, but
We're not carrying our drugs. They're on the I assume they're in the saddlebags.
Yeah,
I do have that.
Amara probably had what she stole, but that's about it.
Yep.
We want to put it in my bag of holding instead.
I'll
perhaps.
probably put the opium in there. I imagine we could fit much more than that. So it's a fuck ton of opium.
Huh.
Well, I guess we don't have many options. I guess the more stable ground, the rocky area you noticed over there, that might be a good place to go.
Yeah, dude, we should probably just hightail for it.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Andale.
Alright, and we rush for some cover, for some stone rather than sand, but we don't see the draconic creature again. Nor our horses, nor our camel.
Camel's a bit obvious.
Yeah.
How far are we from the border forest now?
About a day.
Yeah, about a day. Yeah, probably make it there by the night. We don't have to go to the border forest, mind you. We could go to the Desert Mouth Mountains, but we'd be going past Sandfort Shembrel to do so. The Zentarum Fortress.
Are we trying to stop at Mines of Tethiomar, or are we going to wait on that?
Well, okay. We might need to more than ever if, like, the majority of our loot just got eaten.
Yeah. Dollar money.
Because otherwise, we're coming back from a expedition that took weeks, and we have nothing to show for it, basically. But yes, anyway, I'll look around and notice that Mara's not with us.
Yeah.
Oh, wasn't she right behind us?
She was.
Oh.
I should call out, Mara! Mara!
Okay, Mara, this isn't funny.
Yeah,
Come on.
Just scan the area, trying to find any trace of her. but I doubt I can see anything. Just sand and hoof prints and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to beat that 27 stealth.
You don't suppose she got eaten, do you?
If I roll 2 natural 20s, it's
It's possible.
No, she couldn't have. That wouldn't.
not quite.
One of us would have seen it happen, surely.
It was pretty chaotic.
No. This
Well.
can't be. It's all wrong. How did it all go so wrong?
Seems like you bit off more than you could chew. The world bit back.
So that
Let's
shit
call out
message,
again.
The Kenku try like hug you, like maybe comforting you.
Just keep calling out, even when you tell me she's probably been eaten or who knows. Just keep calling as my voice just echoes throughout the sands with no response. Just the howling wind.
Come on. Let's get back to the woods. Get down to this stupid desert.
Alright. First, we'll give Mara a D100 to see what she encounters alone in Anarok. Sorry, D30, my mistake, D30.
At least you're invisible if that counts for
Sneaks off
anything.
and dies.
Invisibility only doesn't last that long, though, I don't think.
Dragon's back.
Oh no. That's really fucking bad.
Isn't that the
Is it
same
also?
thing?
It is the same thing, and it's not going to matter whether she's invisible or not because it's working off tremor sense.
Would I would probably run with the horses, like in the same direction they were going.
Yeah, but
my tracks.
you're a lot slower than a horse, and thus easier to catch. Alright, it has advantage on its first attack.
Natural 1. Natural 1.
20,
Say.
20.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, come on, loading. Loading still. Here we are. No, I had to just see what the one encounter would be. Alright, yeah, this is bad. 20 plus 11 with advantage. That's pretty bad. You got your 1, and you got your 20.
So the 1 will miss, the 20 will hit.
It's advantage, so the 20 hits. The damage is not so great. 2d10.
Only plus 22.
Yeah. 2d10, 25 points of damage plus another. There's superheated sand within its mouth for another 7. How do you do off 32 points of damage?
Fortunately, I am resistant to fire damage.
That does help. So it'll be 28 in total.
I let it eat my backpack, which has all the poison and drugs in it.
Oh, yeah. Alright, so it snatches you and burrows underneath the ground with you. It's a bad situation, really bad.
So I try with letting my stuff kind of get off of me, try to squirm out, leaving it with something in its mouth to still chew on.
Alright. I'll give you advantage on your athletics or acrobatics check to defeat its athletics.
Here's where the dice fail.
Maybe. No, they don't.
Here's where they don't.
And it was a yellow dragon, a very rare dragon found only in the desert. As you saw, they have no wings, but you do manage to get away, leaving only the backpack. So you lose all of your gear, and as the dragon swallows it, it has an allergic or rather a toxic reaction, and thinks better of trying that again. You escape. Yeah.
Wasn't the poison extra effective against reptiles?
It was! Yeah, absolutely. Good. I hadn't thought of that, but it absolutely was.
And it just ate 20 doses of it.
20. You can roll the damage if you want, and you can double it.
How much damage was it? I don't remember.
Assassin's blood?
That's hardcore shit.
Like 4d12 or something?
I think
Oh,
so.
This is one shot the dragon.
It's pretty disappointing, I think. 1d12.
There's only a single d12, is it? So how many?
That's only 20d12. Okay.
Yeah. 20 d12 or 40 d12 in this case.
Yeah,
if
40
you want,
d12.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think dragon is long for this world.
Probably not. 141 points of fucking damage. It has 195 hit points. It dies, but it dies buried underneath the ground, so you probably never know that it's dead, and you're probably not going to stick around to see if it is. But you did. You level up. Congratulations. You level up. The dragon is dead. That's one of the rarest dragons in the world. You just killed an endangered species.
Just coming for you.
Went from endangered to extinct right there.
That's right. And this is why we forced that final roll of the party who leaves, the adventurer who leaves the party.
He blinked and woke up in the afterlife.
So-
Like, what happened?
I mean, she would probably. I don't know. Do I have a way? No, I don't have anything left right now. I need a long rest first, but
Yeah. Somewhere around here there might be a dead dragon. So whether you come back today or in 10 days' time, Mara has a dual quest now, not only to take over the Bedine tribe, but also to find the dragon's body and perhaps even its treasure hoard.
there we go. And she'll take sending at the level to let her mother know back in Daggerfall.
Excellent. Alright, well that was quite a departure. Exit stage left.
Alright, take care, you all.
It's been
See
very
you soon,
fun.
man.
Yeah, it's been very fun playing with you.
Brilliant.
What a way to send off a character. Just casually one-shot a dragon.
It'll go down in the history books.
Yeah, that's right. We'll remember that one. Yeah.
I gotta get going too, guys. It's pretty late.
Absolutely, man. Not a problem at all.
See you next week.
See you soon, dude.
Bye.
Are the rest of us, we're going to keep going? Is Billy even still here?
Don't know.
Guess not.
Yes, not.
So
Do
we're down Amara. How much have we lost in terms of loot?
yeah, like most of it.
So, if we lost stuff we weren't carrying, I had just lost some gear there because I couldn't carry all my gear.
Yep, sure. Yeah.
Namely,
Yeah.
Track
bedroll,
down the.
mess kit, 10 torches, and my rope.
I think we carried our water on the horses, though, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can try tracking them down. Perhaps like they would have left hoof prints in the sand. Might be able to find them.
Maybe, but horses run pretty far. And do you really want to go back into the desert when we're not that far from the forest? Like, it's definitely possible, but like we can either walk the 20 miles to the desert, or walk the 20 miles into the desert and maybe not find the horses.
Well, I do have my own horse. I might
Yeah, you do.
catch up
You can
with
split
them.
the party.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go off by myself. But yeah, I could. I'm not sure how far they would have gone at this point, but who knows?
Yeah. Exactly. Who knows?
All we were for sure carrying on the horses was the water barrels, right?
No,
So
I think we a lot of the myrrh and the or everything.
Yeah.
The tobacco, the mistletoe, the chili, myrrh, and opium.
All
We've
of our
lost-
trade goods. Yeah.
We've lost
the
about
opium.
4,000
Someone
gold
said
on
that
this.
we put put in
Yeah.
the bag of holding.
I think. All right. So we've got the opium. That's yeah. We got 1,000 gold pieces worth of opium.
And that's a reward for the Anarok.
Yeah. Yeah, we just lost about 3,000 gold.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
I lost my bedroll. It's like, what am I going to do?
Well, we did have didn't we have carts to carry the marquees and stuff around? I wouldn't say cart, more of a sled, seeing sand.
Yeah, and we didn't really specify what we did with the marquees, but since most of them were for the women, we might not have even taken them. Like that's that's speculation.
Because we snuck out. Like, how could we do that? Like, sneakily puts down.
Yeah, you can't.
Tents, 30 women again.
He's absolutely right. There's no way we could have snuck out and disassembled the marquee.
Yeah,
absolutely right. Yeah.
Well, we got 1,000 gold out of it.
1,000 gold of drugs. Yeah.
Nice.
We can now, yeah. Our sole business now is hard drug dealing. That's all we do.
We also have the knowledge that we probably saved those women and we took them back home.
Well,
absolutely.
Is, kind of stretching the word.
Wow. Yeah. It's their lives didn't get a whole lot easier. But like you can probably at least rest assured that that it's better than two fates. First of all, being Zentarum slaves, and second of all, going into the Underdark. So
those guys, they seemed pretty honor bound. Like, and the last thing his the warlord oath before he died was that he would return those women safely to their tribes.
So maybe they'll honor that. What actually happens, depending on whether Mara takes over the tribe or not, and that's just speculation. But what actually would happen is they would be absorbed by another tribe, like another dominant male Badin would come along and say, "Well, you all belong to me now," and he'd do away with the women that he doesn't want. He'd do away with the heirs, the children, namely the boys. So the boys would be put to the sword. The old women who aren't beautiful enough to be married off would also be put to the sword, most likely, or possibly just kept as camp followers. And the younger, prettier, more fertile women will be absorbed into the new tribe, which is about as good a fate as they would have had with the other guy anyway. So it's a tragic end. There's no doubt about that. Again, assuming that Mara doesn't succeed, and it would be pretty hard. But assuming that she doesn't succeed, then a tragic end to the boys and to the elder women, and the younger women. It's much the same as it would have been anyway.
Unfortunate. Not every story has a happy ending.
No. It's certainly not an Amarok.
It's questionable whether we actually accomplished our mission. We got a paltry amount of treasure and lost a companion.
2 companions.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we returned them to the city they wanted to be in. The chance that what's happening to them now probably would have happened to them eventually, even in their own tribes.
Yeah, it's true. At least
it's not like they were taken from paradise to be slaves, and then we failed to return them to paradise. We just returned them where they wanted to be.
That's right. That is the point that I'm trying to make. Is while from an objective perspective, it's a pretty grim ending. From a cultural perspective, they're as happy as they were before any of this happened. Most of them, anyway.
Have been returned to normalcy by their standards.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly the point.
I suppose some more, I guess.
Yeah.
Because the Badin are quite superstitious and religious. Like dying outside of the animal
Yeah.
might have been something meaningful to them.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Maybe their guards can't reach them though.
Because remember, like, they refuse to go into the Underdarks. There might be something similar, but not as strong, like out for the Dales.
I think that's a valid point.
Well, once we manage to get some proper rest, I would say that we make our way back to the Dales through the mines of Tethiamar, so that we can actually try and make something of this trip and also strike a blow to the Zentarum at the same time. And also, Artisan, given his background, would probably like to investigate the Dwarven ruins.
What do we say? The one vote for the mines. There's only 3 votes right now. Yeah. So if Flightless is going to support Eleanor, then I guess that's a majority decision already.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't hear that last bit, but
Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah. I was wondering if you were there, to be honest. I'm like, we did it too.
Artisan's purpose is to help out the party, so if the party's basically leading to decide something, then he's completely fine with it.
Alright.
He was made to make shit, he gets to hit shit and make shit at the same time.
Field test it. Yeah. Then I would suggest an executive decision of calling it there. We have a new quest, and we can head towards the mines of Tethiamar next week.
We can say goodbye to the internet then. Good night, internet.
Good night, internet. I hope that you were enjoying this thread. I certainly, I know I am.
It's been a roller coaster.